be sharing with
Meeting
us,
is now being recorded.
who's going to share with us their product, CourtReserve. Just so everyone's aware, everybody's phone has been muted so that we can hear the presenters clear. If you have questions, you can wait till the end and ask your questions, or if you'd like, you can put them in the chat box, and we'll save them till the end, and we'll ask those from the chat box at the end. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon. This is Ashley Owens. We're so grateful to be here today. And we're going to be talking about doing business in a digital club. So let's go ahead and get started here. So the old way of running clubs is over. Of course, with COVID-19, all of us have been affected. The manual processes, lots of clubs that we work with have come from using Google Forms, Wufoo sign-up sheets for their programming, Excel court sheets that they print out every day and put up on the court board. Reporting, very limited reporting if you are a manual club. This limits to really see how well or how healthy your club is. The aging player, they don't really like change. And how do you maneuver change within that player? The cost of goods. I know I've been reading a lot in the last year with the manufacturing, the trade wars over in China. It's made it difficult for clubs to get, rackets, balls, shoes, things of that nature, as well as member attention. How do we get members? How do we keep them connected at the club day after day and staying at the club month after month and year after year? So today we're going to address the three main frustrations and how a digital club can address those from the perspectives of from the club frustration, the teaching pro frustration, and of course the member frustration. And you'll have to excuse me, a little allergy today. All right, let's start with the club frustrations. So the first frustration that we hear is that the manual clubs, they don't have data or reporting to help them make good decisions for their club. There's paper trails everywhere. So especially now, this COVID-19, this post-COVID-19, lots of clubs are opening back up. How do they do that? At what capacity? So if you have reporting and analytics to see week after week, month after month, you can actually see the health of the club, the trends of your programming and events. Especially now, COVID-19, we're getting a lot of questions around, how do I control the groups of people, limit them to 10 or 50, depending on your state? And then how do we keep them safe? Well, we would start off by saying that the digital club can use court utilization reporting, how busy your courts are at what time during the day. Some of the clubs that we work with often, they use premium rates for premium time. Well, how can you identify time frames for different courts and different platforms? You've got platform tennis, pickleball, there's lots of different things that can go into looking at how healthy the courts are, and proof, really. Proof that, you need more staff. How about a, staff report or a teaching pro report? How often are they on the court? Is there room for additional private lessons or training sessions, or to add, additional staff to your club? Board of directors, club owners, they need this type of information. So the next frustration that we hear often is the poor guy at the front desk. The phone rings off the hook all day. He's answering emails. Members are calling about programming. They want to sign their kids up. So the digital club, wow, there's really a couple things that we can help with. A scheduler. When you think about a scheduler, you can think about it in two different ways. First, it could be just a view of what's available. Doesn't necessarily mean that your members have full access or that they can, schedule everything. But your platform needs to be flexible and give you the controls as the club, give permissions around what your particular club needs are. Maybe your members just need to view what's happening, or maybe you allow them to register for programming, but maybe not register for a court. And of course, who doesn't have a smartphone these days? Your platform that you choose to be in a digital club environment needs to have a robust mobile system, needs to be able to use it from an admin or a teaching pro side, as well as a member side. And we would encourage platforms to do, both Android and iOS capabilities and to be updated often in those particular stores. Another way that the digital club can address front desk frustrations is really building out your program with ease. A lot of times when we talk to directors of tennis or teaching pros, they're going from a paper calendar book to a system, and it looks difficult. But there are programs out there that once you learn how simple it is to schedule your programming, you'll never go without it. How many phone calls will this save your front desk when they can simply look up and click or view what's available at your club? Another great idea, if you're looking for a digital club platform, is all around widgets. Now, this is a great word. It's a word I've learned from my husband, being the techie guy that he is over the past couple years. But widgets are bits of code that translate information to your club's website. So let's say, for instance, you have hard courts, and that's the only thing you want to be able to show your members online. So you would build a court scheduler, a custom scheduler, and be able to use that to paste into your website. And that way, when your members go to your club's website, they can just see the hard court scheduler. You need to be flexible. Your platform needs to be flexible so that this helps exactly what your club needs are. So another frustration that we hear is scheduling multiple pros. We work with several different clubs, some that have just one pro and then some that have 20 pros. And so pros really need their own internal real-time scheduler. This really empowers them, and it allows the front desk to be able to take a glimpse of what is available and what's not available. So when little Johnny's mom comes to the front desk and wants to sign her kid up for lessons with a particular instructor, then it's simple. There doesn't have to be a phone call made or an email or a text. And this also allows the pro to keep teaching on the court with, less interruptions, less time to have to get back to people all day long about programming and signing up for new things. Another great feature I think that you should look at when you are looking for a digital club platform is, once again, just knowing when the pros are available and when they're unavailable. Your platform should be able to allow the pro to schedule themselves when they're unavailable for training or travel or sickness. That way, everyone is on one platform and everyone can get a glimpse of what is available. Another great feature that you should look at when you're talking about digital club platforms is all around pricing. So your pros may have their own fees, and you may also have different classifications of pros. So a director of tennis may have one fee, whereas an assistant pro or other teaching pros have other fees. Your platform should be able to price all of these differently at different membership levels within the club, as well as for each pro. All right, how can the digital club maximize a pro shop? So first of all, what we define as a pro shop is everything from a small snack bar that is self-serving. We know a lot of clubs have a small area within the indoors of the club where they have, beer, sodas, granola bars, and bananas, all the way up to fully functional clothing, stringing, rackets, etc. So that's what we're talking about, anything from small to big. We know that a lot of pro shops are tied into, golf clubs or swim clubs. But if you are not tied into a system, the digital club should always have a simple, easy to use point of sale with inventory management system. Should be able to just create simple items and categories, track revenue, track notification of stock issues for reordering. you know, speaking from our own club, we're in North Carolina. We're right outside of Charlotte, right down from the Charlotte airport, if you've ever been here. And so we're at a pretty small club here, and was on the paper ticket system for a long time. And I can only imagine having to go through and, the paper ticket system and then figure out, how many bottles of water are left and how much longer, they're going to last before he has to make a Sam's Club run. So once again, the notification of stock issues for reordering, this is simple with a simple point of sale system. When you're looking for a digital club platform, look for one that has a solution of a simple point of sale already integrated into the digital club platform. It will make your life so much easier. When you're talking about a point of sale system, it should have real-time sales reporting so that you can know what items are selling like hotcakes and know which are not. Club owners, once again, board of directors who are wanting to know the health and the well-being and the bottom line. They want to know what's in it for me. This is what they're looking for as far as reporting. And if I can just say, please, let's just save some trees and get rid of the paper tickets out there. We're going to save time. If you are a one or two, pro club and you're on a paper ticket system, I can only imagine how much time it takes to enter this into some sort of Excel or QuickBooks system and upload this. So with a simple point of sale system, this could save you a lot of time as well. All right, so your front desk is congested with player check-ins and payments. We've seen it. I have been there, but especially now, with COVID-19, with clubs opening back up, we need to keep groups of people at bay. Not only that, but we need to keep your front desk people happy and make sure that, we can put systems in place to help them out as well. So one of the first ways that a digital club can be efficient to help your front desk is the digital lobby view. Your digital club platform should have a way that can be linked to a smart TV or a tablet in your lobby in your front area, and you use one of those custom scheduler widgets, that tiny bits of code that I mentioned earlier. It is simple, it is easy to put in, and this is a scrolling lobby view of what is actively happening on your courts at that moment. So when Peggy comes in for USTA or Johnny comes in for his lesson, he can look right up at the board and hit clay number court 1 and bypass the front desk. This allows for less congestion and less confusion for everyone as well. Another front desk efficiency is really a real-time player check-in. I was at a club up in near Richmond, Virginia, and I actually saw the pros coming in that morning and grabbing their clipboards with their Excel document printed out so they could go out and use a pencil and check off and do roll call on the clipboard. A real-time player check-in on a digital club platform is an easy button, check in, you're good to go. Reporting's there, analytics are there. You can know how often Andre Agassi showed up for the junior clinic and how often he wasn't. You can see billing, you can see everything. Online payments. The new word that we are hearing almost every day at this point is contactless. Clubs don't want to, they want to open back up this, they want to keep their people safe. They want to keep their staff safe. So the front desk, if we could do online payments, the front desk doesn't have to take money. They don't have to touch money. It's just this new environment that we're living in, but it'll also make your front desk that much more efficient. So the next way I think that digital clubs can really communicate with members is, it's just around simple communication. Members are not tuned into things at the club. Tim and I have been club players for many, many years, and that is really, one of the frustrating things about, not knowing, not having the availability to know what's going on at the club. So really announcements that can go on your website and are up to date. So, allowing your members to know you've got new members at the club. You're going to have a potluck social this Sunday. There's going to be a tournament for juniors coming up. You're going to have, new cardio tennis starting for women. All of these fun and friendly announcements are great to keep your members up to date. But I think even more important, the second thing, is the instant court updates and the status. You got clay court number 3 and 4 that's being, reclayed and resurfaced, and they're going to be out for a couple weeks. Well, that's good, just good to know, right? Or the clubhouse is going through some remodeling. Once again, just letting your members know. But more important, here in North Carolina, it rains at the drop of a hat. And, I know that we have talked to pros over time that, it's getting ready to rain. They know they're going to have to cancel. And with a manual court process, they're pulling out a phone. They're having to find that group text message or, last minute phone calls to make sure that little Johnny doesn't come over to the club for his lesson. It is painful. We have seen it. So the digital club, with the push of 2 buttons, can close your courts and announce to your members what's going on at the club. So in regards to members, we find from what we have discussed with other clubs that we currently work with, it's really around communication. If you can keep your members happier and tuned into the club, they're going to be at the club more often, sign their kids up for programming, and they're going to spend more money, which is all about the health and the revenue of your club. So now, teaching pro frustrations. Boy, you guys, I'm telling you, we have heard it all, and we're so appreciative because it allows us to do a good job as a digital club platform. So one of the things that we hear a lot is just being able to view and adjust your own schedule, to have that empowerment to do that. So on the go, just to be able to look at it in your pocket, pull it out in between your lessons, in between your clinics, the ability to set your own availability. And it's really the opposite of micromanagement. So we are working with a lot of larger clubs. We were working with one in La Jolla right now. I believe they have 5 or 6 teaching pros. And they were just so excited, not only to be working with a schedule that was online so that they could, increase their membership to go online and look for the availability, but to have their own schedule and to set their availability. That was one of their favorite features of that, our digital club platform for sure. Another way that, your digital club platform should, really help with the scheduling is the on the go. We actually feed into the Google Calendar. So there's a lot of you guys are married, right? So wouldn't your wife love to be able to pull up the family calendar on Google and see what night you're cooking dinner that week? So just again, when you're looking for a digital club platform to help with, teaching pros, just flexibility and communication, we find is often what they're looking for. So let's talk about cancellations. Cancellations are difficult, and it doesn't matter what the reason is, but it really revolves around 2 things. How do you reschedule, or how do you just cancel what you need to cancel? So when you look at a digital club platform, a couple of buttons and you should be able to reschedule that event. So say that, it's a lesson. If there is a time that's free the next day or something, with a couple of clicks, you should be able to hit the button, send the notification, reschedule, and you're done for the day. The other reason that it makes it so much better is you have 40 kids in a clinic and it's going to rain. So canceling that clinic should be able to hit a couple buttons, boom. They all get an email, clinic's canceled for the day. We'll see you next week for Orange Ball Clinic. This is another way that the digital club can help the teaching pro just stay focused and happy and less stressed. Another frustration that we hear, I've got Orange Ball kids, they're on the court, we're starting a lesson, and 2 more walk up. Well, we work with some clubs that have 300 and 400 kids in their programming. So you may not know these two little kids. And so it could make it very frustrating with those walk-ons to your clinics unless you have a digital club platform. So it should be easy, if you have a good one, to check their membership status. If you've got 300 or 400 kids, you should be able to easily look up and make sure they're an active member at the club and how to register them. You should be able to walk them through the pay online feature. Once again, I don't know how many pros we have talked to who have cash and checks in their pocket at the end of the day. Because mom comes up and she's paying for this lesson this week or this lesson last week. Once again, a good, robust platform should have an online feature which eliminates cash and checks going home in your pocket accidentally. And then the on-court registration on your mobile phone should be pretty simple. And the reason this is a good idea for any platform is that you're the pro. You know, you're laying in bed at midnight trying to go to sleep. You're thinking about the day, and Ralph pops up in your head. Little Ralph showed up, and you didn't have time to write his name on the chalkboard inside the clubhouse before you left. And now his mom just got a free lesson, unless you remember to get up in the morning and go back to the club and add little Ralph's name to the list for the clinic from the day before. Easy, simple, on-the-go registrations should be essential when you are evaluating a digital club platform. All right, members, we work with a unique variety of members, clubs that have anything from just tennis, tennis pickleball golf, swim tennis. We even work with pool halls and golf simulators. So we have really come down to understand that most of the member frustrations, again, go back to communication. So I'll tell you why this slide is so important to us, no visibility to availability. So like I said, Tim and I, we are club players, and about 5 years ago, we live about 15 minutes from our small club here outside of Charlotte. And we would get in the car and drive our 15 minutes over to our little 8-court facility, and the club would be filled, the courts are full, the whiteboard is full of a wait list name. And honestly, I can only drink so much beer and wait on a court so long before, you know, we might as well just go back home. So the reason that CourtReserve exists is because we found out and figured out that we could help solve a problem at our own club. And as a club member, this was very frustrating to us as to why we were having to drive back and forth just to get a court to play on. So really, it's just all, once again, it's all about communication. Easy view availability, on-the-go registrations, what's available, you know, just the visibility to your members at your club. It's for the higher participation rates. Even if you just allow them to look at what's available, even if you still want them to walk through your door and talk to Johnny at the front desk, knowing what's available is still a step forward in a digital club environment. Ball machines. It's so frustrating too, because we used to have to email our club. He's the owner and the director, of course. Email him, wait for him to email us back to let us know if the ball machine's available and what court we could use it on. A digital club platform, once again, can reduce that frustration with your member and allow them to simply book your ball machine on the platform. Again, this goes back to your revenue as well, because revenue can come from ball machine rental. So maybe you'd only charge $5 or $10 an hour. If you do this an additional one time per week, and you can go back and look at your analytics and reporting, you can actually see the revenue of your ball machine go up. Whereas before, if people think it's too hard to rent or too hard to get in touch with you to actually get to your ball machine, they won't use it at all. So it's utilization. And an intuitive dashboard, really just making it easy for members to use a simple system. And this goes back to one of the first points of the first slide, an aging player. We hear it a lot. Well, our club has been doing this for 30 years. They are never going to go for a change. They're never going to go for using and booking things on their phone. And from what Tim and I've learned, we've actually learned that that's actually false, because we work with Pebble Creek. They're a large pickleball facility it's near Phoenix, Arizona. They have 37 courts, and I've been there, and it is incredible. And from 7 o'clock in the morning until about noon Phoenix time, when it gets too hot for them to play, there's 1,000 pickleball players out there. And every day at 5 minutes till noon, they would stop pickleball play, pull out their iPhones and Androids, and they would be ready to jump and schedule their next court availability date, because Pebble Creek used our system to schedule 48 hours in advance. So they all knew if they wanted a court, they couldn't do it until noon. So they would all stop play at 5 minutes till noon and race to see who could get courts for the next 2 days. It was incredible. The average age of these people, I would say 60, 65. So the adage of making it easy for them is something that you have to look for when you're looking at a digital club platform system. Easy. Once again, the member wants to see what's available. Put your calendar online. I know we've gone over this a couple times, but future planning, it just really helps. Members also talk about easy access. They want to be online more. They pay their bills online. They want to be able to register, their kids online. Excuse me. Dad, he wants to go play golf on Saturday. So he can easily look and see that he can sign his wife up for cardio tennis, and at the same time, sign his kids up for green ball tennis, and sign up for the social barbecue at 5 o'clock. Easy registration for the entire family, and Dad gets to go play golf, and everyone is happy. So, paying online. We pay most of our bills online at the Owens house, and I'm sure most of you do as well. People want to pay online. How about a real-time view of the family balance? Dad wants to see how many ice cream pops Susie bought that month in the clubhouse. Now, this, of course, the payments online. When you're looking for a digital club platform, you want to look for integrated platform that flows directly with your point of sale system. So that way, everything's flowing through, and once a month at the batch billing time, your family can get their bill automatically emailed to them, and they can pay their bill online. It saves you paper, stamps, time, and all kinds of money as well. Another great part of looking at a digital club platform is all around member groups. I know for our platform, we allow the clubs to turn this feature on and off. It's the membership directory. It allows your club members to look at who your members are, what their rankings are, how to get in touch with them. It is a tennis or pickleball player matchmaking system in and of itself. It is an excellent way to keep your members less frustrated and more involved at your club. Well, the proof is really in the results. As you can see here, we did some studies. It's been a while now, so I actually think these numbers would have been increased. But member satisfaction goes up when people use a digital club platform. Ball machine usage goes up. That means more revenue for your club. Events and lesson signups go up, which automatically means your court utilization is going to go up, or at least you'll be allowed to see where you can fit bits and pieces of more programming into your club. So let's talk about COVID-19 and what the digital club platform can do during this time. Even this morning, Tim and our customer support is crazy busy. People asking, I need to make space within my schedule. I need to limit the amount of people in my clinics. Well, how do you do that unless you have a digital club platform system? I wanted to show you guys this as well. It's not just for courts. It can be for swim. It can be for so many different things within your club environment. Now, clubs can determine timeframes as well as the number of people So as you can see here, people could easily register for one of the 50 spots available for this particular swim time. The first one shows Monday, May 4th from 11 to 12:30, because this club is going to clean from 12:30 to 1, and then of course the next time frame is open from 1 to 2:30. So families can choose to go in and register. They see the number of slots available. There is a period of time where there's a cleaning function of some sort, and also it can, track guests as well. Once again, just trying to limit the amount of people in the pool at one time just makes a lot of sense. This kind of platform, or what you're looking for in a platform, should easily be able to create the parameters as long as it's a customizable system. So now it's time. We've gone through a lot, but what are the real questions, when you decide that you want to vet a software, a digital club platform? These are things that Tim and we really decided we wanted to make sure you guys knew. Always request a live demo. Tim does all of our demos currently. He really believes in, talking to the customers, because honestly, every single club is unique and different. So we really think a live demo shows you the flexibility and the customization to what you need at your particular club. You need to ask about the fees for onboarding, training, and setup. You need to make sure that they have mobile apps, that they're free when they download them from the App Store, and also that they're for both your pros and your members. It should be unique, like we've showed you earlier, that the pros need their own scheduling and the members need to be customized to what you want them to be able to do. You need to ask for references, and you need to call them and talk to them. I mean, you wouldn't go eat at a restaurant that got bad reviews. So you want to make sure that, you can get references and talk to other tennis, other pickleball, other pros and tennis directors who have used the platform that you want to use. Ask about their support team. How often, or how do you get in touch with their support team? Is it a chat feature? Is it email support? How long does it take them to get back to you? Answer your questions. If you're a new client, what's the expectation of time? We have heard, different things as far as, it takes 3 or 4 days to get a question answered. Well, I don't believe that that's good customer support. You should probably make sure that you're going to get your support answered the same day at least. Another great question: how often is your development team making enhancements? I know at CourtReserve, Tim and the development team, they push out new enhancements to our platform every 2 weeks. We work in 2-week sprints here. So the way that we put in new enhancements to the system is from our customer base. We have a feedback on our site that allows our customers to tell us what else they need in a digital club platform. You want to make sure that the digital club platform system that you choose is for you and what your needs are, and not necessarily what they want to do or what they think is best for you. Another great feature, or another great question: contracts and long-term commitments. In the world that we live in, it should be pretty fluid. And so we are a month-to-month system. We don't require contracts or long-term commitments, and we don't charge for onboarding or setup or training. We think it's an important part of making you successful as a club to get you up and running. And if we do that well enough, you won't have to ask for additional training down the road. So set yourself up for success. Identify your own club challenges. Make sure that you take baby steps when you're setting up and onboarding. You want to make sure that, the customer feedback and what you need as a club is integrated as far as a platform that you are looking for. You want to make sure and train and educate your staff and your pros first, and then move on to your members. Remember, this is baby steps. And then you're all set. It's called automation. Here you go. So here are a couple questions, and I know that there are some questions over on the chat box, and we can get to them, in just a minute. But these are some of the questions that we thought would be good. How can I prevent members from grabbing multiple courts? Tim and I call them court hogs. And your platform needs to be able to be customizable and set the rules and restrictions for your club. So, for instance, CourtReserve, our clubs are able to set the restrictions where maybe you only want your member to have court 1 every 48 hours instead of every single day at 7 a.m. Once again, ask the questions, look for a platform that does exactly what your club needs it to do. How can I get my members to adopt the idea of a digital club? Once again, we've been doing the same thing for 30 years. It's baby steps. Really, now's the best time ever to make a change and a transition to a new process in your club. A lot of the clubs that we are working with have closed, and so they're slowly opening back up. Now's the time to start new processes and new change for a better environment in your club. Let's see, cost. You really need to ask a lot of questions around cost. We start out at a $25 a month fee, and then it's $5 for every court and $5 for every pro. We are a pay, as you grow kind of feature. That's why you need to be careful when they're talking to you about price. You want them to be upfront and make sure that it's not one price fits it all. We talk to some clubs who are paying $300 and $400 a month. They have 5 courts, but because this platform has everything that they would never use, it's kind of a one price model. So you want to make sure that you look for the pricing model that is best for your club. How do you make changes and improvements to the platform? Once again, we have a feedback feature on our platform, and so we talk to our customers a lot about the features that they need, to make smart business decisions. And so I'm glad Tim just brought that up in the chat. That's what it's all about, smart business decisions. Because if we make changes to our platform that resonate with what you need for your business, then we'll be lifelong partners. What if I'm just a seasonal club? This is a great question when you're vetting software. Seasonal clubs, a lot of times, they don't need to be charged when they're not in season. So we do not charge seasonal clubs when you're not active, and we also don't charge you for inactive members that you keep on the reservation platform. How long does it take to get a digital club up and running? Well, we have had clubs. We, in fact, just had one this past weekend out in Palm Springs, California. He was up and running within 24 hours. It usually takes a little longer than that. The process usually is, we do a demo with the club, and then there's usually some follow-up questions or, a follow-up demo if need be. And then there's a process of we, give you a 30-day trial. You can go in and you can play around with the system. You can put a couple members in, see how things work. But most of the time, within a week, our customers are up and running. So as a follow-up from our education today, we wanted to send out, and I know I sent this to Jason and Jason earlier, 2 different types of information. One that's not pictured here, Tim wrote a couple years ago, 9 tips for keeping happier members at your club, which is a lot of what we went over and talked about today. And the second is really all of the questions that I have told you about. We put it on one form so that when you decide to vet your own digital club software platform, these are just things that you want to make sure and ask. Okay, this is not an all around. These are just the things that we know when people come to us. These are the top questions that we get. And so, this should allow you to make great decisions for your club. And I just want to thank you guys today for letting Tim and I share some 4 years of hard work and labor with you guys and what we've learned. We were really hoping to meet you all in person this weekend in Rhode Island at the conference. But put us on the schedule for next year because hopefully we can meet you in person at least then. So, all right, Jason.
Thank you very much, Ashley. And Tim, thank you guys very much. Does anyone have any questions? If you want, I have some questions in the chat box, and let's address those first. I know Tim was answering them, but I think it's probably good, Ashley and Tim, if you guys wanted to answer them out loud.
Okay.
So one question was posed by Jeff Jagfeld was, his exact text. Please let us know what reports can be generated for management. Most importantly, payroll for tennis staff, stringing, and pro shop staff. So that's an interesting one. Can you guys incorporate that in?
Yes, so we have some functionality of those types of reports currently. And like I said, the way that we improve on our current platform is by listening to our customers and letting them tell us how often or what they need, for their particular club. So if it's a feature that we don't have, we can put it in the queue and make sure that it's something that we can work on and get.
Oh, that's great. That's interesting. How many times have you guys done that in the past so far?
Put in a customer request?
Yeah, put in, I guess, kind of hearing a customer request and then modifying your software to be able to answer that.
Oh, wow. Probably every 2 weeks we do at least one or two.
Wow.
I mean, it's what makes our platform customizable, because we've heard from so many different clubs. There's not one club that's alike another. So they all have different needs.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Different size, different demographics,
Yes.
different customer needs, different staff needs. Absolutely, for sure. Another question that came in the chat box from Joseph Culkin: how do you convince an old school owner to go digital?
Oh, so yeah, nobody likes change, right? Well, the best thing is really to get them on a demo with Tim. He's a great presenter. He is a great listener. And, when it means to convince, the system actually does the convincing. And I say that because they don't have to use every bit of the system. Maybe it's just for certain parts of the system, right? Maybe it's just for, making the pro shop run better, or the court, scheduler, or just for pros, or so just, showing them bits and pieces. I'd like to say we have converted some old schoolers to go digital. So it's definitely one of the hardest things to do, but it's not, it's not something we haven't done in the past.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, Ashley?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello,
I would like
Tim.
to add to that. Hey, this is Tim. I'd like to add to that. I get that question a lot on all of our demos, and really I turn it back and say, do they want to save money? Because the way to save money is to get a digital platform that can give you insightful and very good data analytics to let you know how you can make better business decisions about your club. Because if you're doing that manually, if you're doing that on pen and paper, somebody is going to have to take the time to mark all that down, put it in some type of spreadsheet, and present it to the board or present it to the owners. So if they want to free up time, I mean, we're sitting on mounds and mounds of data here when you are implementing a digital club. So our goal is to digest that data up, give it to you in chunks that you, your pros, well, not your members, but your owners and your directors can understand and do something with. So that's sort of what the answer I give to that question a lot of the time.
Yeah, Tim, I think that's a really good point to make. It's sometimes hard to convince older owners or people that have the mentality that they'd rather have a pen and paper system that it's going to be better. But having a software platform like this that can digest data and spit it back to you is huge. And especially too, I think Ashley came up with a good point earlier about the ball machine. Having members be able to book and pay for services like a ball machine will also increase revenue, and that's something that can be missed sometimes, right, with a call-in system or a paper and pencil system.
That's right.
Great. Paul Laurie asked the question: is there a long-term contract?
No, we don't have contracts. We're a month-to-month product.
I always joke and say, to me, if somebody has a contract, it's a dead giveaway. They don't believe in their product. Because as a software company, it's just, we feel that our software product is well done, and we feel like if people use it, we want to give them the opportunity to use it as much as they want to, but if it doesn't fit them and their need, they should be able to walk away at any time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That does instill confidence in people to be able to do that. And like you said, you know, it helps adjust to seasonal clubs as well. So
Correct.
another, oh, sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I just wanted to address that too. People are usually blown away when me or Ashley tell them, what do we have to pay when we're off season? Well, it speaks to my last point. You know, why charge somebody if you're not using it? So if you're a seasonal club, or we have lots of clubs up in Canada that are only operating in the summer, we don't want to, you know, charge you if you're not using it. So the seasonal clubs really love that about us, that we are offering that to them.
Yeah, that helps out quite a bit. Another question from Paul Laurie was that the USTA is planning on rolling out a free TMT tool. Are you guys familiar with that?
I can speak to that, Ashley. We are familiar. We've been. I'm familiar with them and their partnership with Club Spark, and the only thing that I can say is that some people have, you know, asked us about that, and you know, we are not in this to try to compete with Club Spark or the USTA team management tools or anything that they're building. We're just trying to build a product that we had a vision to build. And we, you know, hopefully that we want to allow people to make their own decisions. And so hopefully USTA will do that as well and not mandate anybody to use a certain system, because there's going to be things in software systems that people like and things that people don't like. And as a club and as a tennis pro, you should be able to pick the system that works best for you.
Yeah, true. No, that's a good point. So another question coming in from Charles Hardman. He says, we use Club Automatic. He may have been Club Automation. Not happy, but it's connected to our billing. Can this software do what it does?
Another great. Go ahead, Ash.
I was going to say, you know, we don't speak about other competitors and what they can or can't do, but we have a robust platform that, and we've seen customers that have used other products, including Club Automation, come over to CourtReserve and are, you know, very happy with this decision. And so I would say that if you're interested, you know, to get on our website and sign up for a demo with Tim and, you know, check and see if it does everything that your club needs it to do.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. And to answer his question directly, yes, we can do the batch billing that Club Automation does.
Oh, that's great. Jeffrey Jagbeld also asked, also, does the platform do any league management or special events marketing?
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it's a great question. So I know that Ashley didn't get much into it, and we get into this a little bit on the demos, but our platform is moving towards developing some add-on modules as we go into 2020 and 2021, including some internal ladder management. We already have a tennis ladder product, but we're actually going to be integrating that into the CourtReserve platform. Round robin managers, tournament managers, internal league managers with schedulers for those that want to run internal leagues, or townships or municipalities that want to run leagues. And we're also building, as far as the special events marketing question, we have things in place and in our platform now to assist and help you promote and market. But we're also, one of our big fall initiatives is to build a marketing automation platform in CourtReserve to go out and allow you to build a rules engine, basically build a set of unique rules to say, hey, fire an email off to this person if they've signed up for this event within the last X days, or, you know, so just building very smart rules that where the system will actually self-market itself based on the rule set that you've set up. So people are super excited about that, because one of the big things that they have to do is try to get people to re-up and to come back and get into some of the programming that they've done in previous years. And so that's something that we are paying close attention to as we move into the fall.
Excellent. Well, good. So another question came in from Deborah Russell. Do you create rosters for program registrations?
Yes, we have.
Go ahead.
We have multiple different types of reports. We have an attendance report, but yes, we have the ability to quickly and easily, with the click of a button, to generate that full roster for that particular clinic. And not only that, we can actually generate a roster for an entire session, so that you can see it in Excel, broken out by day, all of the students, and then check marks when they're coming and what days they've paid for. So that was actually a custom request that came from Wentworth Country Club. Gosh, the state's leaving me. But we did that, again, as Ashley was speaking to, one of those things where we really need this, and a lot of clubs are now using it.
Excellent, good. Another question from Jeffrey Jagfeld. He is full of questions, but they're all very good questions. Does it also generate push notifications?
Currently, no. We have our push notification framework coming out in July. So currently, right now, we are an email-only notification, and then the global announcements, obviously, they show up when you log into the member portal or the mobile app. But what we're going to be able to do come July is allow our clubs to actually push out notifications, and even the system-generated messages that come out of CourtReserve for event reminders, reservation reminders, payment receipts, all of that will be able to be pushed either SMS, text, or if somebody's using the CourtReserve app, they'll be able to sign up for the app notifications that will then allow them to receive those push notifications from.
Oh, great. There's no more questions in the chat box. So I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to verbally ask a question if they'd like. Actually, Jeffrey Jackbell had one more. USPTA team management, I guess, meaning can the software platform help with USPTA team management?
Yes, that's when I was mentioning ladders and leagues and round robin. That's another one that I forgot to mention. We're doing that. That one is on our radar as well, to have done sometime in 2020 as an add-on module.
Oh, great, excellent. Okay, so that ends all the questions in the chat box. I'm going to give everyone a little time if they wanted to ask a verbal question. You guys are welcome to unmute yourself and ask Ashley and Tim a verbal question. And anyone else, if you don't want to ask a verbal question, you'd rather ask it in the chat box, and we can follow up in the chat box, that's fine as well. Eileen Beck just asked a question. How do we follow up with you guys directly for her community club? And I can actually, I'm going to tell everyone right now, we are going to follow up with an email. It will be later on today or at the latest tomorrow, which will have Ashley and Tim's info on it, including this this presentation. And you guys can follow up with them directly like that. But Ashley and Tim, I'll give you guys a chance to address that now if you'd like.
Sure, you can, our website, CourtReserve.com, you can chat with us. So if you go to the website, a little chat bot will pop up, and you can chat with us directly, or you can send me an email at ashley@CourtReserve.com. We'll answer your questions and get you scheduled for a demo. And yeah, thanks again for allowing us to spend time with you guys today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So Ashley and Tim, thank you guys very much. That was a very enlightening presentation. And thanks everyone for taking the time out of your day today to participate in our educational webinar. I'm going to follow up with this with an email, and it will include Ashley and Tim's email and their website and a few links and handouts from this. So thank you again. Be on the lookout for further USPTA and USPTA Eastern educational webinars. If you guys don't know, we've joined with USPTA Eastern section during the COVID crisis. And what we're going to do is we'll be giving you guys a webinar every single week. So be on the lookout for your email for that. And again, Ashley and Tim, thanks for being with us today. And everyone, thank you very much. Stay healthy and stay well.